Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Believe me, I saw a guy jogging in a snowsuit and goggles. He just nodded to me and I nodded to him. I was snowblowing. He was jogging and I just kind of just did, yeah. All right. Good for you. You're nuts. Get an elliptical, dude. Like, do some push-ups inside. You're out of your mind. But, yeah, so when I started the show, we were just a smidge below 6 inches. My son just went outside. We have a ruler, good old-fashioned wooden ruler. We're now up to 6.6. So you're looking at more than an inch an hour, at least here in Bergen County, New Jersey. I would imagine that's the case throughout the listening area. Getting some reports of a little sleet down in South Jersey, which is odd because it's like, 10 degrees down there too. But it's all about the upper system and wind and stuff. So I'm not going to get into the weeds there, but I will get into Ron DeSantis, one of my favorite people, pummeling Gavin Newsom, calling him a traitor to America. And I was on Fox a lot this week, and the only word that came to mind was ass clown, as far as Newsom going to another country, Switzerland, going to Davos, the most pretentious sounding town/city in the world. And sure enough, here you have Newsom going off on the president of the United States on foreign soil, not saying, hey, I disagree with his economic policy, for example, but, he bought knee pads that are supposed to be Trump knee pads. Ha ha, get it. And he's saying that world leaders, are saying, that they're acquiescing to Trump in any way, shape, or form. They're bending the knee, so he's giving him knee pads. Yeah, it's not an insult to everybody. This guy's a troll. And that's all you could say about him. He has no ideas. I'll go through the list once again. And he's basically, let's put it this way. He is the owner of a state that has the highest income taxes in the country. We know that. Has the highest poverty rate in the country. We know that. Highest homeless rate in the country. We know that. Highest unemployment rate in the country. We know that. Highest gas prices in the country due to his policies. We know that as well. Obviously no water in the reservoirs, no waters in the fire hydrants. You can count on one hand how many homes have been built in the Palisades, since this whole thing happened, as far as, that horrible, devastating wildfires, that are still keeping people out of their homes in California. I was there actually for a speech not too many months ago, and it still looks like a war zone. There's still the National Guard there directing traffic. This was 10 months later. So that's where we're at on that. But here is Gavin Newsom being taken to the woodshed, as rhetorical woodshed, as we like to say in college football. Cut number 1, DeSantis, perhaps an opponent of Gavin Newsom in 2036 or something for the presidency. Cut 1, go.
Frolicking around in Davos, basically attacking the President of the United States, urging foreign leaders to rally against him while he's on foreign soil. And has a record where people are leaving the state. They've obviously had a lot of problems with homelessness. They've had a lot of problems with crime. But showing that picture of him with Alex Soros, I thought was very fitting, because this governor has Sorosed California. It used to be the place everyone wanted to go, and now they're losing population and continue to do so because they have enacted those left-wing policies that have failed.
He has Sorosed California. That's exactly right. And lo and behold, there was a photo of Alex Soros, spawn of George Soros, and and Newsom, together out at Davos. So we know who his daddy is at this point, just like Pedro Martinez was, basically, who's your daddy? Well, Yankee fans were Pedro's, daddy. Same kind of situation. Meanwhile, just to show you how phony Gavin Newsom is, basically, this guy, he's going off in this whole anti-woke thing, kind of. Depends on who he talks to. He basically tells the interviewer what they want to hear. In this case, he's saying, Democrats have to get away from saying things like Latinx or Latinx or whatever it was they came up with in 2020, 2021 to try to appeal to Hispanic voters. The problem is they would do polls at the time and something like 3% of Hispanic voters said they actually used the term Latinx. So, big fail. But Newsom claims that he never said it yet. Well, we got some proof that he did on several occasions. This is cut number 3. Go.
Not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah, but where did that even...
No more Latinx, everybody.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. I'm like, what are people talking about? Impactful this has been on the Latinx community. Latinx community politicians are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx.
3.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
Yep. That's me. Okay, we do our research here, don't we? But yeah, I mean, Newsom as phony as a $2 bill and as fictional as that $18 billion with a B dollar high-speed rail he tried to build from Los Angeles to San Francisco. That has never been built. We don't know where the $18 billion went, by the way. And now J.D. Vance saying this week that, oh boy, we're finding a lot of fraud too in Gavin Newsom's California that may look like child's play. So stay tuned on that one. Meanwhile, speaking of California politicians, we have, well, I love a little mashup of Kamala Harris from time to time because, again, be thankful every day that this person didn't become your president. And if not for a couple of swing states, that would have happened. Tim Walz would have been your vice president. Doug Emhoff would have been the first gentleman. And Tim Walz's wife, who was profoundly insane, who said at one point during the 2020 riots that she opened the windows so she could smell tires burning so she could embrace the moment. Yeah, we didn't dodge a bullet. We dodged a nuclear missile on that one. And here is the best of Kamala Harris. And again, 1 year and 5 days ago, she could have been inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States. She was not. Be thankful. And here's why. Cut number 6. Go.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Oh, no. Coconut tree.
You exist in the context.
Well.
Of all in which you live and what came before you.
Okay.
You know, we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke.
No, they don't.
And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke.
Tackle.
Yeah. So you know how those lids on the Starbucks cups, they're white, right?
Well,
and
yeah.
so if you wear lipstick, they get all over the lid. And so then I find myself in meetings, if I'm the only woman, and that's kind of, and so I keep taking the lid off and having my cup out so that I don't have that big lipstick mark on the lid. So I said, can we do something about the color of the lid?
Wow.
Share with
Extended
you a very
cackle on that one.
story, which is that I went home one day and I said, well, why are conservatives bad, Mommy? Because I thought we were supposed to conserve.
Oh, that happened.
I couldn't reconcile it. Now I can.
Cackle. Wow. That could have been the leader of the free world. Oh, thank your lucky stars, everybody, certainly. Meanwhile, boy, Democrats used to sound a lot like Donald Trump, but we're hearing a lot about illegals, obviously, and what's going on in Minneapolis. And once again, George Floyd, in terms of that strategy, ain't working because Minneapolis is a city that, believe it or not, they have a Major League Baseball team, the Twins, irrelevant for many years. They have a National Hockey League team, the Minnesota Wild. Nah, not working. Oh, we should have been the North Stars, but fine. Haven't even come close to competing for a Stanley Cup. Then you have the Minnesota Timberwolves, once again, never came close to actually winning an NBA championship. And then the Minnesota Vikings, who, boy, they're geniuses, aren't they? They go to 4 Super Bowls when they play outdoors, right? In an outdoor stadium. Then they say, hey, maybe we should build a dome. Even though Minnesotans probably kind of embraced the cold, probably liked having an outdoor stadium and all the advantages it would have when, like, say, the Rams would come to town, for example, and they seemed to meet a lot during the 70s, with the Vikings seemingly winning every time. I'm going to have to look that one up. But the point is that then they build a dome, the Metro Dome, and they never go back to a Super Bowl again. And then you'd think they learned from that, but then they built another dome, Bank of America Stadium, and they have yet to go back to a Super Bowl again. So the reason why I bring all this up is because they have every single major kind of team there. Usually means that you have a population in the millions, right? Like New York City has 8.25 million people living in it. Los Angeles, Chicago, several million. Minneapolis, despite being an NFL city, as it's called, only has 400,000 people living in it. That is a small population. That's about half the size of Washington, D.C., which, trust me, is not a very big town. About half the size of Boston, half the size of St. Louis. So you think that, what's going on in Minneapolis is indicative of the way the country is feeling right now. No, it's not the case at all. And again, these protests have not spread to Miami or New Orleans or Dallas or Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago, New York, D.C., Atlanta. It's only in Minneapolis, and that's because of the rhetoric from their governor in Tim Walz and their mayor in Jacob Frey, the human broomstick. Anyway, here are Democrats not too long ago, and if you close your eyes and think of Donald Trump's voice here, you would swear you're listening to Trump, but this is actually how Democrats felt about illegal immigration. Again, not too long ago. This is cut number 9. Go.
I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell
Hillary.
People to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes.
Yes, Hillary.
And you have to try to learn English.
Whoa.
And you have to wait in line.
That's racist.
What's going to happen is you are going to pay a significant fine.
Barack.
You are going to learn English.
Yeah. Ooh.
You are going to go to the back of the line so that you don't get ahead of somebody who was in Mexico City applying legally.
No, that's just cruel.
The American people, they appreciate and believe in immigration. But they can't have a situation where you just have 500,000 people pouring over the border without any kind of mechanism to control it.
Or 12 million.
In this body, and I know I can speak very firmly for the Democrats, support strong border control. And it must be part, and the first part, of any comprehensive immigration reform.
I agree.
Immigration is wrong, plain and simple.
Agreed.
Until the American people are convinced that we will stop future flows of illegal immigration, we will make no progress in dealing with the millions of illegal immigrants who are here now, and on rationalizing our system of legal immigration.
You are so right, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. Wow, one was president, one ran for president twice, one was the Senate Majority Leader, now Minority Leader, and one was the House Speaker. They sound exactly like Trump and exactly like so many Americans who now are outraged by illegal immigration, but now these same Democrats are all cheering on these agitators in Minneapolis saying that, they're pretending they never said these things. And why our legacy media is so corrupt is that whenever any of these people are on for an interview, can someone just play back those clips and say what changed? It's not hard. It's the Tim Brusser thing, but they will not do it for whatever reason. Anyway, there was a debate last night, apparently in Texas, where you have Jasmine Crockett running for Senate, but she's got to get the nomination first. She's got to win on the Democratic side. So she went against this guy that you've never heard of before, named James Talarico, and he says that, because this is how Democrats talk when they're trying to run to the left in order to win a primary, he wants to impeach President Trump, but can't exactly explain why he wants to impeach President Trump. This is cut number 10. Go. Cut number 10.
Be specific. What's one thing you would vote to impeach?
Gromer, I'm not going to articulate articles of impeachment here at a political debate, but if those charges are brought in the U.S. House and they come before the U.S. Senate, I will carefully evaluate them. I will weigh the evidence, and I will do my duty as a U.S. Senator.
We don't know why we were going to impeach him, but when it happens, trust me, we'll find something. Maybe we'll say the Russians colluded with him. Oh, that's right. I already tried that one. Maybe we'll say that he, overvalued his properties. Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million. Trust me, I've been there. The parking lot. The tennis court is worth $18 million. That sucker's probably worth a good $500 million. Being on the water in Palm Beach with 55 bedrooms. And they got these robotic dogs that actually are security dogs. Really wild stuff. I have it on video. Remind me to share that with you sometime. So they'll find something is what this moron is trying to say. So your choices are Crockett or that guy. And, if you're a Democrat, either way, you ain't winning in the Lone Star State, with candidates like that, with a message like that. No question. Meanwhile, I have to play this clip before we go to break, if we don't mind. And this is one of the greatest things ever as far as selective outrage. Selective outrage. We hear that a lot in media criticism primarily from me, but let's play cut 5 and you'll see exactly what I mean as far as what the definition of selective outrage is. Go.
What's frustrating in this is this sort of selective outrage. Everyone was obsessed with this photo. Not all the facts were out there. The facts are still in dispute. I think we can agree on that. Widely reported the father did run away. But why are we only focused on that when for 4 years there were almost 500,000 children who came across the border completely abandoned? They were trafficked. Kamala Harris is posting about this little 5-year-old boy, but for 4 years she was completely quiet as the Biden administration saw hundreds of thousands of children trafficked here without their parents. Why are we only outraged about this one story?
Precisely. So that's the thing, right? There was this 5-year-old boy named Liam who was abandoned by his illegal immigrant criminal father. So then ICE, when they came to get the dad splits, and the kid is left there in minus 10-degree weather, so ICE brought the kid in because what are they supposed to do? Leave him out in the freezing cold to get hypothermia? No, they did the only thing they could do. It's either abandon the kid, which would have been infinitely worse, or bring the kid in and figure out what you're going to do next. And the fact that 500,000 people came across this border, lost children, and Democrats didn't say a thing while that was happening, that is the definition of selective outrage. Something else you should be perhaps outraged about is the reports out of Washington involving Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell having raised serious questions about the future independence of the Fed. Markets have reacted fast and decisively, as you may have seen this week. Gold and silver surged to record highs because when confidence in the dollar or the financial system is shaken, investors run to real assets. If you're concerned or just trying to understand what this could mean for your portfolio, your IRA, or maybe just your overall financial future, my friends at Goldline can help. Precious metals analysts immediately raised and revised their gold and silver forecast higher, and the outlook is more bullish than ever. Goldline is the only gold and silver company that I trust. They'll walk you through how precious metals may help protect you against growing financial risk. Call Goldline now, 800-757-GOLD. Mention my name, Joe. That's 800-757-4653. If you reach voicemail, no big deal. Leave a message. They will call you back. Or visit goldline.com. But I urge you to call now, 800-757-GOLD. This is Joe Concha. We wrap this puppy up on the Tunnel Towers Foundation Sunday Morning Show in just a moment.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.